A lot of you have asked me if I can make a video about a third officer's life on board and what advice I can give to cadets who want to become officers someday. This video is about that. Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. I'm Nadine. I'm your second mate. I was a third mate for 4 years before I got promoted to second mate. Actually, this is my second contract as a second officer. And as a third mate, I experienced being in charge of life-saving appliances, firefighting equipment, port documents, and GNDSS equipment. I think to be a third mate, you need to have the knowledge needed to take the job. So to have this kind of mentality that you need to become an officer first, and then you're gonna learn the job later, it's a complete no-no. To be honest, it was something that I regret a lot. I did study when I was a cadet, but I always feel like I didn't study enough to take the role of a third mate. And I encountered situations that I felt like my previous third officer would know how to handle. And at that time, I didn't know when I was the third mate at the time. So there are 4 main jobs in which you might want to prepare yourself. Number 1 is maintenance, so that will be maintenance of life-saving appliance and firefighting equipment. Second is navigation, then cargo operations, and fourth is administrative jobs. If you're in charge of life-saving equipment, that will be everything that is for saving life at sea. So if you look at the fire plant, all this equipment which are in green, which have a green IMO sign, this is for the life saving, so that will include lifeboat, life raft, life jacket, life buoys, EEBD, immersion suit, rescue boat, breathing apparatus, and all those green signs in the fire plant that you see. So you want to know how to operate these things and how to find the instructions if you don't know how to do it. When you become the third mate in charge of these things, the first thing that you might want to do when you get on board is check the list of equipments that you have in your inventory and cross-check it with the fire plan. We also have what is called SOLAS training manual on board. We have that in crew mess or in crew day room, another in officers, and then another one on the bridge. And this manual will contain the instruction specific for your ship. And it will also be your duty to update this manual in case something changed in the operation of this life-saving equipment. Every week you need to test the lifeboat, and every month you need to test rescue boat. Check the life raft, especially if the hydrostatic release unit or HRU is correctly attached in a way that the life raft will float when the rope in the HRU is cut. You also need to check every month the status of life jacket, immersion suit, and EEBD. For EEBD, check the pressure, either it's 200 bars or in the green zone. If you check that the pressure is not enough, then you have to refill it by yourself. For life jacket, test the light and the whistle and check that the overall condition is good. Also for immersion suit. So for life buoy, when you're checking this equipment, check that the grab line is also in good condition, not just the life buoy itself. So you will test the light. If it's working, no wear or tear also, you can check it with your nails. If it cracks somehow, then this grab line should be changed. For me, I do this every contract. For immersion suit, when there is a crew change, make sure that the new crew will get the correct size that they have. So check what is the size in their cabin is, and then if there's a change, then just swap it with the others. And make sure that every crew has an immersion suit that is perfectly fit for their size. So now for firefighting maintenance, it's all these fire hoses, fire hydrants, fire isolation valves, foam isolation valves, fire extinguisher, fire locker, fire station, fire suit, helmet, bay pressure of this firefighting outfit, fire plan, and foam monitors. I guess maybe I'm forgetting something, but this is basically most of it. I will not say much about this firefighting equipment, only that it needs a lot of maintenance, especially when you're in port. Make sure that you have time for these fire hydrants, especially the isolation valve, because it can get very hard to open or operate in just a short amount of time. So another job of a third mate will be administration. So that will be port documents, which is what the ship has to prepare in advance before arriving in port. And it's a lot of job. You might think that it's only paperwork, but this paperwork can cost a ship like thousands of dollars if done incorrectly, and in most cases even detention. So learn Excel, it will come very handy for this job. For me, I just watch Excel files and tutorials without really looking for anything. And later on, it came in handy and helped me one for admin is updating the telephone list, the master list, the SOLAS and firefighting manual, drill reports to name some. So that's it for the administrative jobs. Next will be navigation. And for navigation, knowledge about code red is very important. I cannot stress this enough, but you need to learn your code regs. For collision avoidance, the equipment that will help you the most will be the radars. So learn how to set up the CPA, TCPA, all these barriers, how to activate the acquisition zone, how to use trial maneuver, and of course, how to set up the radar setting. Why you need to use speed to the water during collision avoidance. If we look at the call regs, everything that is mentioned there relates to speed to the water. That's why when we are using the radar for collision avoidance, we use speed to the water all the time. Another thing that you might want to know about the radar is has an error of 7 cables. That's why, so in coastal navigation, make sure that at least you have 1 mile CPA from other ship. And if it's open sea, all is clear, everything is good, just make a CPA of 2 miles. For avoid grounding purposes, the equipment that you might want to be familiar with is the ECDIS, which stands for Electronic Chart Display and Information System. So you might want to gain more knowledge about ECDIS settings like setting up of safety parameters like safety depth and safety contour, look ahead function, how to put marine information overlays, radar overlays, use of parallel indexing, and what your company has to say about using this bridge equipment. There's so much more I would like to say about these topics, but I think I will leave that for next time. Let's proceed now to the last duty of a third mate, which is cargo operation. Study your company procedures about how to do these cargo operations, learn from your officers if you're a cadet. Make sure that you focus a lot. Don't get distracted by any other job. Just make sure you have proper documentation of what is happening. So record of stoppage, delays such as waiting for analysis or readiness of terminal because every moment counts. And if there is a delay, of course, we want our site to be clear of the claim. And that's why recording these events are very important. Also, make sure your guys are wearing the correct proper protective equipment or PPE. Different level of personal protective equipment for every operation and also for every cargo that we are taking in the tanks. We need to monitor that your watching and crew going out on deck are aware of these things and what PPE they need to wear. So of course, there is so much more to being a third mate than what I just mentioned. But if you don't know where to start, and you want to become officer someday, you can begin by studying all these things that I just said. Really study all this slowly. Read your company manuals, what they have to say about it, and read even when you don't understand what you're reading, because just by reading you get familiarized with the terminologies. I know it's quite a lot, but you'll get there. So I hope you enjoyed this episode and that you find this helpful. And if you want to know more about the topic, please leave a comment in the section box below. And I will make sure to answer them when I have time. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find this helpful. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job in making this film, and it's also encouraging for me to continue making videos like this. And I guess I'll see you again next time. Bye!